Egan took a nap on a plane and awoke to find his country gone. His passport and visa were invalid, leaving him stranded at New York's Kennedy Airport. A bold official explained the situation to him, but Egan didn't understand. As for the bald guy, Egan belongs to no country, can't access the airport, and can't go to New York. He can wait in the lounge. Egan looked for a TV in his language. Not knowing what happened, couldn't understand. In an unfamiliar place, with useless currency, how desperate amid strangers, Egan was an isolated island. Loneliness welled up. A suitcase couldn't hold his soul, and his homeland couldn't hold him. He was abandoned by the world. No one helped Egan, but this didn't change his kind nature. A girl's luggage was unzipped, and Egan stepped up to help unaware. His meal voucher blew away. Egan got his meal voucher. At night, Egan went to the empty lounge outside. The large windows was colorful New York, but Egan felt like a wanderer. Egan made a bed from old chairs, but a loud noise woke him. He dreamed of his homeland. The next morning, Egan washed before handling exit procedures. Without a country, he couldn't get a passport, and thus couldn't exit daily. Egan tried to slip through, but was stopped by Kamala, the visa officer. His daily presence in pajamas displeased the bald guy, who was focused on his promotion. Egan became a nuisance, and the bald guy even suggested an escape route, hoping Egan would leave the airport. Though he'd be caught outside faced with hints, Egan tested limits at the edge of danger. He noticed cameras following him, and his instincts sensed complexity. Cleverly, Egan feigned a move, baffling the bald guy. Egan became a figure no one could let enter or expel. He stayed. Egan was so happy, but his love for life remained. Despite the current predicament, Egan found cards and realized returning them refunded 25 cents each. Most travelers ignored this, so Egan collected cards, bought hamburgers. He became diligent, adept, meals more sumptuous, even luxurious. While eating, the TV broadcasted news from home. Egan was anxious. Egan grabbed English books to learn English. Daily, Egan practiced with Kamala, astonishing Edward. Egan's card-earning plan continued, attracting bullies upstairs. They had a transporter steal Egan's earnings, leaving him broke and eating free bullets. Luckily, there was hope. Edward from the kitchen helped. He wanted Kamala's heart and asked Egan for help. Egan played matchmaker, getting closer to Kamala while Edward treated him well. Then, the bald troublemaker returned, hinting to Egan that as long as he admits to being afraid of returning to his own country, he can apply for political asylum to leave here. The dealer hinted to Egan that if he fears returning home, he can apply for political asylum. The supervisor could only angrily throw Victor out of the office as he was leaving. A beautiful flight attendant accidentally slipped in front of him. Victor immediately picked up the broken heel and returned it to her. After expressing her gratitude profusely, the flight attendant left with an older man. Not long after, the flight attendant appeared at the airport again, this time crying while on the phone. Unable to resist, Egan pretended to make a call nearby to eavesdrop. Because they're all liars, she was emotionally hurt, and started confiding in Egan. She then wanted to invite Egan to dinner, but unfortunately Victor was penniless and could only tearfully decline in broken English. This regret made Egan determined to save money to treat Jenny to a grand dinner. He began applying for jobs, but because he had no nationality or identity, no one was willing to hire him. Finally, there was a boss who didn't outright reject him, only saying, "You don't even have a phone number, how can I dare to hire you?" Egan quickly ran out, noted down the number of a public phone, told the manager, and then sat at the entrance waiting from day to night. He didn't even dare to go to the restroom. And finally, the call came. On the plane, Egan passed by a place that was under renovation. With the wall still unfinished, Egan couldn't resist. His real identity was actually a senior architect, and decorating walls was a piece of cake for him. After working through the night, the wall looked brand new. Seeing his work, he was so absorbed and delighted that he started dancing with joy. The foreman thought that this man had done in one night what they usually do in half a month, and immediately decided to hire Egan, offering him a high wage of $19 per hour. However, it wasn't long before the supervisor heard about this. The supervisor decided to detain Egan during the inspection. An Eastern European man caused a disturbance at the airport. He wanted to take medicine back to his country, but it lacked documentation, and was confiscated by customs. The man threatened suicide to protect the medication. The supervisor found Egan to translate. Due to the language barrier, it was found the medicine was for his father. The man knelt to plead for his father, but guards restrained him to prevent agitation. Seeing this, Egan had an idea. Egan explained, he misheard. The medicine was for goats, not his father. Egan knew medicine for animals needed no permit. The young man was released. The supervisor saw through Egan's trick. grabbed him, and threatened to print his palm into photos. A janitor witnessed this and told colleagues about Egan's act. The story spread quickly, becoming a legend. The next day, Egan entered the hall to smiling staff. His selfless act made him an airport hero. Everyone respected Egan, angering the supervisor, and told him that he would not step into the country. His friends planned to help him leave quietly, suggesting he hide in a box or sneak into a car. Gab refused their help. He wanted to enter openly. His friends helped him find Jenny's schedule and plan a meeting. Egan invited Jenny to dinner. During dinner, Egan revealed his purpose. His father loved jazz. In 1985, he saw a photo of jazz masters. He spent 40 years collecting 56 autographs, missing one before passing. That master lived in New York, and Egan came to fulfill his father's wish. The next morning, Egan received good news. He regained his freedom, and his friends gathered to celebrate. He secured an emergency one-day visa for Egan to enter U.S. territory for his father's wish. However, the visa needed supervisor's signature. Egan took the visa to the supervisor, who held a grudge, and showed a video recording of Edward from logistics bringing him food, mentioning his janitor friend's mistakes. Egan recalled the old man's story. 23 years ago, he ran a restaurant, but a corrupt cop extorted money. Initially, the old man paid, but the cop grew bolder until one day, the old man stabbed him and fled. Here, living as a janitor, the supervisor told Victor he couldn't stop his return, but if he wanted to enter New York, he had to expose his friend. Egan stayed silent and left. He told everyone not to mention that he was going home. The janitor, upon hearing this, started cursing loudly. "You are recovered." Egan didn't explain anything. He turned around and left without looking back. The ground crew nearby couldn't stand it anymore, so he helped the old man sit down and explained everything to him. While Egan was waiting to board, everyone was shocked as they looked out the window. The janitor, an old man, stopped with his mop and ran step by step towards the plane. He used his own mop, forced the plane to stop. Then the old man turned around and warned Egan. He used this way to tell Victor not to give up, and Egan knew what he was doing. When everyone learned that Egan was leaving the airport, they all stopped what they were doing and took out treasured items from their stores to give him as souvenirs, crowding around Egan and pushing him towards the gate to New York. The supervisor was both shocked and angry at this scene, and quickly arranged for security to intercept him. By the time Egan reached the door, a group of security guards was already waiting there, so Victor really couldn't get out. It's snowing in the city, and you don't need that. Egan strode out of the airport, breathing in the outside air, and felt a long-lost sense of freedom. In the end, he got the last signature, and fulfilled his father's last wish. This movie is based on a true story, where the protagonist was actually trapped in the airport for a full 18 years before he got out. Perhaps not every wait will have a result, but at least believe that happiness will have a final destination. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Narrator Stories Recaps for more exciting movie breakdowns.